Now we understand the basics of how form is working with PHP, and how one page's information can be sent to the other page. Actually, we have a few different types of input, so let me just demonstrate how other input types work together. Okay, so here I will just keep the button at the bottom, and after first name and last name, let me use just a horizontal line. So HR, this is a horizontal line. After horizontal line, I want to add two radio button. So you might know radio button. So let's say there is again input, and the input we can just close it, right? So you can close it, and this input has again type attribute, and this time I want to add radio button, so radio as a value. So it will add a small, very small dot in your web page. Okay, and I want to add one more. So before I add it, similarly I will add line break, and let me use another radio button. So let me add radio button here. Okay, so let's see how this radio button is working. So if I save it, and I will upload the file, and in your browser, go back here, and then I will test it. So there is two radio button, and a few modifications needed, right? So there must be some text caption for this each button, and we have to move down this submit button. So let me go back to code editor, and first of all, let me just use another line break here, and also for each radio button, after the button, I want to say, how about this is male and this choice is female. I just added these captions for each radio button, and let me save it, and upload it in your browser. Now how does it look like? Like this. Okay, but now the problem is entering your information is okay. But now if you click this, actually both are clicked. There is no way to toggle each of this choice. So what you have to do? So actually for the radio button, you have to specify these two buttons are as a family, so you want to toggle it. So for this, actually you have to add two attributes. First of all, we have to add name attribute similar to text input. So we must use the same name. In this case, let's say we use gender. So to toggle between two choices, for the second button, you must use the same name. So gender as the same name. Now by doing this, if you choose the first one, actually second one will be deselected. And if you choose the second one, the first one will be deselected, because using the same name, the browser will recognize it as one group, one family. But one more issue, if user choose the first one, how do we know? How can we distinguish this first input from the second one? For this, we cannot just use name, because it is different from input text box. Input text box usually enters some text, but in this case it's just choice. Therefore, you must add one more attribute, value. So if user choose this one, I wanna add some values, for example, M as the value. If user choose the second one, I wanna use a value as F as the value. If you specify the value in form.submit.php, actually you can retrieve this value. So as a test, first we wanna test this HTML page, and then we will modify this form.submit.php a little bit. So let's save it, and upload, and then let's refresh it. Now you can see the difference. Since it has same name, it's a toggle. So if you choose male, and if you type some names, and when you submit, I wanna show the gender as well. So to show this gender, first of all, in your code, form.submit.php, inside this code block, we can add some more. So far we have welcome and the first name and the last name, right? And then we want to change the line. So in this case, we want to echo some HTML code. Note that this is HTML block. So we have to use echo and we can type some text here. So what's the text? First of all, I want to change the line. Then we have to explicitly type this BR tag using echo statements if you are using PHP block. And then let's say I want to echo again gender, and then I will close. And then following by this, I want to echo and I will retrieve the value. So I will use this post variable. But now, what's the name of this? Do you remember? Go back to HTML and the gender was the name. So we use this as a post index name gender. So now let's see what's the result. So here we add line break inside the PHP and we add gender and then the value. So save it and don't forget to upload in FileZilla and then go back to your web browser and let's submit. So you can see that welcome and my name is still there and with new gender and why there is M. M is the value that you specified in your HTML page. So this M is captured in form.submit.php by this $sign post with the name gender. So if you go back, for example, if you choose a female and then if you submit, now you can see the value is changing. Okay, now we just have tested the radio button. Let me use one more horizontal line. And then here, I wanna also add line break. And between horizontal line and line break, okay, this time I would like to show you how to make a drop-down list box. Drop-down list is a little bit different. Drop-down list is select is the tag, and inside the select we add some multiple options. Okay, so let's say we have a select and name equals to, again we need to provide the value. So how about light? And then we have a few options. So as an example, let me just use the same example used in your class note. To add options, I use the same example used in your class note. So each option, opening and the closing tag is used, and we specify the text that you show as a part of drop-down list. But note that this text is highlighted text is the text shown in the drop-down list, but actual value you must specify using value tag. So I just set the value as bike, car, airplane for each option. So those values will be sent from HTML to this form.submit. So if you want to check the interface first, let's save it. And you can upload it. And then go to your browser. And you will see this updated web page. So you can see now bike, car, airplane as a drop-down list. But still, when user click one of these options, we want to show this result. So to show this result, to see this result in the next page, go back to form.submit.php. What you need to do, we can use a similar code like for gender for this radio button. So I will just copy these 3 lines one more time. And instead of this gender, let's say it is right. And what was the name of this? So double check, right is used as the name for this select. So consistently you use exactly the same name, so right, then you can get the value. So what's the value? Again, depending on the choice, those values will be transferred from this page to form.submit.php. So don't forget, save it. So save it, go to FileZilla, upload it, and on your web page, let's say I choose car, then if you submit, you can see the value car is actually retrieved from this form.submit.php. Okay, now as the last example, I will just show you how checkbox is working. So for multiple choice, you may want to use checkbox. So let me use HR as a line break, the horizontal line, and let's use a few checkboxes. So I will just copy the code from your note. So here is the code. So let me use some indentation for better reading. Okay, so here I have a bike, and then there is input. Note that this time, what is the type? Checkbox. And the checkbox is used for multiple input, multiple choices. So in this case, you use same names, but different values are used, and we can check whether user click this checkbox or not using some mechanisms that I explained before, like using $_post. So for this example, I will just show you the user interface, and then we will just end this topic. So let's just save it, and let's go back to your FileZilla and update your file. Go to your browser, and then if you see your browser, you can see now there is a 3 checkbox, so you can choose multiple options. Okay, so that's it. To handle this checkbox in the following page, you need some more advanced knowledge about PHP. So I will not demonstrate how to get the values from the checkbox, but I think that was everything that we have to learn in topic 1. Thank you for watching, and see you soon in the following topic.